Nothing jumpstarts a morning quite like the sharp, refreshing taste of a chilled glass of orange juice. It's more than just a drink. It's sunshine in liquid form, bottled and delivered straight to your table. But here's the jaw-dropping fact. Americans consume over 500 million gallons of this golden nectar every single year. That's 500 million gallons of juice. So much demand that it never slows down, not even when the fruit itself is out of season. But here's the big question. How does that happen? How do we get this sweet, tangy goodness flowing all year long without interruption? The answer lies in a fascinating blend of cutting-edge farming, advanced science, and precision timing. It's a high-tech journey far more complex than most people realize. From sun-soaked orchards to giant harvesting machines, and from Brazil's export hubs to American factories, the story of your morning orange juice is bigger, bolder, and juicier than you think. So what exactly does it take to bring you that perfect pour? Let's uncover the hidden process step by step. The journey begins in the best orange growing regions on Earth. In the United States, that means Florida and California. Both states provide the ideal mix of scorching sunshine and seasonal rainfall, giving oranges their signature sweetness and juiciness. Since the mid-19th century, Florida reigned supreme as America's orange juice capital, but in recent decades, that crown has slipped. Why? A devastating combination of hurricanes and a relentless tree disease known as citrus greening has ravaged Florida's groves, slashing orange juice production by nearly 75% since 2005. This dramatic collapse forced a massive shift. California has stepped up as the backup powerhouse, expanding its role in America's orange juice supply chain. But even with California's boost, it still can't fully satisfy the insatiable U.S. demand. That's where global trade steps in. Today, Brazil dominates as the world's #1 exporter of juice oranges. In fact, the 100% pure orange juice you buy at the store often isn't purely American at all. It's usually a carefully engineered blend of US and Brazilian oranges. So the next time you grab a bottle, remember that juice in your glass may have traveled thousands of miles before reaching you, but not every orange makes the cut. Out of the hundreds of varieties grown worldwide, only two types truly dominate commercial juice production, the Valencia and the Hamlin. Why these two? Because they pack the perfect punch, high juice yield, and the exact tangy flavor consumers crave. Valencia oranges are the undisputed king, making up about 70% of juice crops. They take patience to grow, blooming in spring and requiring up to 15 months to ripen, meaning they're harvested the following year, from March through September, peaking in summer. On the other hand, Hamlin oranges ripen much faster, ready in just 7 to 8 months, allowing farmers to harvest them in the very same year, from October to January. Their flavor is gentler, but their juice content is so high that they're indispensable when Valencia crops aren't ready. Together, these two varieties create a year-round cycle, ensuring factories never run dry and your glass is never empty. But here's the challenge: how do farmers know the exact moment an orange is ready for harvest? The answer lies in a specialized tool called a refractometer. With just a drop of juice, it measures the fruit's sugar-to-water ratio, also known as the Brix percentage. For oranges destined for juicing, the magic number is at least 10% sugar. Too low and the flavor falls flat. Too high, and it loses that refreshing balance. Timing is everything, and this tiny device makes the decision with scientific precision. Once the sugar levels are perfect, harvest begins. In smaller groves, you'll still find workers hand-picking oranges, gently placing them into bags to avoid bruising. But in large-scale operations, where factories demand millions of oranges per day, hand-picking simply isn't enough. Enter the mechanical harvester, a behemoth of modern agriculture. With vibrating arms that shake the trees, ripe oranges tumble down onto a conveyor belt, while specialized collection vehicles known as goats cruise alongside, catching every single fruit. These machines are monsters of efficiency, capable of pulling in 2 tons of oranges per minute, over 2 million oranges a day. That's how juice factories stay stocked at full throttle. And here's a fun twist: not all ripe oranges look orange. Some are bright green. Shocking, right? But don't let the color fool you. Ripeness isn't determined by the peel, it's controlled by temperature. Cool nights trigger the peel to turn orange, while warm nights can reverse the process, turning them green again. As long as the fruit is full-sized, it's just as sweet and juicy as any golden-skinned orange. Once harvested, the goats unload their bounty into massive open-top trailers called gondolas. Each one can hold up to 120,000 oranges. To put that in perspective, that's enough to produce nearly 2,700 gallons of juice. Imagine one single truckload, quenching the thirst of thousands of families across the country. From there, semi-trucks transport the gondolas to the juice factories. When the trailers arrive, they're staged in a holding lot, waiting their turn. Then specialized hustler trucks push them into the unloading area, where the magic begins. Using giant hydraulic platforms, the trailers are tilted, sometimes sideways, sometimes vertically, allowing gravity to do the heavy lifting. In a matter of seconds, an entire load of 120,000 oranges cascades onto conveyor belts, officially beginning their transformation from fruit to juice. And that's just the start of the industrial process. From here, every orange faces a series of rigorous steps: washing, sorting, extraction, and pasteurization, before finally being bottled and shipped to your grocery store. But the incredible thing is, behind every single sip of orange juice you drink, there's a global network of farmers, machines, and scientists working around the clock to keep your glass full. Before that glass of orange juice hits your breakfast table, an incredible journey takes place, and it all starts with a single test that determines the fate of each orange. As truckloads of fruit arrive, a trap door in the conveyor opens at random, releasing a 40-pound sample. This isn't just a routine check, it's the first step in deciding whether the juice inside will be rich concentrate or refreshing single-strength juice. In the on-site lab, skilled technicians measure sugar-to-water ratios, known as Brix levels, inspect color, and test overall quality. If the sugar content tops 1.5%, those oranges are set aside for concentrate. The rest continue toward their destiny, as fresh juice, awaiting pasteurization later in the process. While the samples undergo testing, the conveyor never stops. The oranges tumble into giant holding bins, separated according to their final purpose. From there, they are funneled to the rinsing deck, where a high-pressure spray of water and alkaline solution strips away dirt, dust, and pesticides. Spinning brushes polish each fruit until it gleams, pristine and ready for the juicing process. Then comes a human touch. Inspectors scan the conveyor lines, tossing aside any smashed, rotten, or bruised fruit. Only the healthiest oranges survive to face the juicers. But before they meet the machines, the oranges encounter a curious step. Thousands of fine pins pierce their rinds ever so slightly, releasing tiny droplets of essential oils trapped inside the peel. It's not wasted. Those oils are valuable, and will later be collected for cosmetics, perfumes, and even food flavorings. After that, the oranges roll across a series of rollers that sort them precisely by size. It might seem unnecessary, but this ensures each fruit fits snugly into the perfectly matched extractor, squeezing out maximum juice with minimal waste. Now the real transformation begins. Each orange drops into a juicer, carefully cradled in a cup before being sliced in half. A cone-shaped reamer twists through the flesh, extracting juice and pulp in seconds. The design is familiar, just like a home juicer, but this industrial machine can crush through 800 oranges every single minute. In total, the factory can pump out 500,000 gallons of juice daily. Some facilities use a different approach, dropping oranges onto sharp prongs before crushing them with immense pressure. Regardless of the method, the outcome is the same: fresh, flowing juice, and nothing goes to waste. The pulp, collected in steel drums, isn't discarded. Instead, it's stored to be blended back into batches for consumers who love that thick, fresh squeezed texture. Even the peels find purpose. A massive auger grinds the emptied rinds into fibrous shreds, which are loaded onto trucks bound for cattle feed operations. Meanwhile, the essential oils released earlier are collected in vats, then purified in a centrifuge until they reach 99% purity. What started as byproduct becomes highly prized, versatile orange oil. The juice itself now follows one of two paths. For concentrate, it heads into evaporators, where 80% of the water content is removed, creating a thick frozen product often seen in supermarket freezers. For single-strength juice, it undergoes flash pasteurization, a process pioneered in the 1950s by Tropicana founder Anthony Rossi. The juice is heated to 185 degrees Fahrenheit to eliminate bacteria, then instantly cooled to 35 degrees Fahrenheit to lock in freshness and flavor. With no additives, this becomes the pure 100% orange juice we know today. After pasteurization, the juice is stored in colossal refrigerated tanks, each capable of holding 1,000,000 gallons, for up to 2 years without losing quality. Before bottling, the juice faces one last series of tests. Samples are analyzed for acidity, sugar levels, aroma, color, and of course taste. Even pulp consistency is inspected to ensure every batch meets strict standards. Once approved, pulp is reintroduced. Some tanks are blended for smooth juice, others for some pulp, and still others for lots of pulp. For those who like it silky smooth, pulp-free juice is bottled too. Every consumer preference is accounted for. Next comes bottling, the final stretch. Small plastic preforms are heated with infrared light until soft, then blown into full-sized 14-ounce bottles. These bottles are rinsed clean before being filled with flash pasteurized juice. The filling is carefully controlled. A splash of hot juice at 176 degrees Fahrenheit prevents foaming before the rest is added. Each bottle is weighed to avoid overfilling, then swiftly capped. High-speed cameras and UV light scan every bottle, instantly detecting leaks or irregularities. To guarantee safety, the still hot bottles are turned sideways, sterilizing the cap and neck. They are then cooled to room temperature. Labeling follows, each bottle receiving its brand logo, nutritional facts, and product details. From there, bottles are shrink-wrapped into packs, stacked neatly on pallets, and tightly secured by robotic arms. The finished pallets are loaded onto refrigerated trucks, ensuring the juice stays cold and fresh on its journey to supermarkets around the world. So the next time you pour yourself a glass of orange juice, remember the hidden story behind it. From orchards ripened under the sun, through rigorous testing, high-tech machines, and meticulous care, each drop of juice carries with it a journey of precision and innovation. Whether you prefer it smooth, pulpy, or concentrated, orange juice remains the ultimate breakfast champion, a taste of sunshine in every glass.